In this video, we're going to take a look at loops in Python, more specifically for loops. Now, the syntax for loop is obviously the word for, and then you would use an I, which is the convention. It's basically the counter that you're going to go through each iteration of the loop, and then the keyword in, and then something which is the iterator, which is usually a list or, for example, a range of numbers. And in Python, you would use the keyword range and then specify two numbers, one where it starts and up until the number it ends. So let's do 0 and 5 and print out I, so the iteration, or also it's called the counter, and we can run that, and you can see it ran 5 times, and it started from 0 and up to 4. So it didn't actually go up to 5. So the way this works is, and typically in Python, many programming languages, 0 is the first element of a list, and also in these cases, when you have something like range, it's inclusive. So 0 is the one that it starts with, and it's included. So that's going to be the first one. The second number is up until that number. So 5, you could see it's never printed because before it reaches 5, it goes out of the for loop and continues the program here. So this is where for loop ends. Run that. You can see it printed out after the 4 because it's not going to loop one more time to print 5 out, or 6 or 7 or so forth. So if you take a look at this, just understand that in a range, it's always inclusive. And this is exclusive, so it's not including that number. And then instead of using a range, what we could do is iterate through a list. So that's another commonly way to use for loops. So we would give a list, let's say, of animals, like a list, dogs, cats, birds, and the next exciting one. Let's do crocodiles. There we go. And we're going to loop through this list. So instead of the range, it's going to be animals. And then you could keep it as I, but usually I is when you're just going through numbers, and you could just actually write the singular term. So animals is the list, and one single animal is one iteration of the animals list. And we could print it out and run it. So you can see it printed dogs, cats, birds. Oh, I missed a typo there. So it's birds. Let's run it again. Dogs, cats, birds, crocodiles, and the for loop ends after that. So that's another common use case of for loops. It's used many times when you want to execute multiple times a sequence of code. So you could write here, let's just write out some text. So favorite animal is, and you can see that it printed my favorite animal is, and then dogs, my favorite animal is. So think of, if you're thinking of more complex problems, you could actually run much more complex code multiple times using for loops, and that's where the real strength of for loops come in, and that's where it's commonly used across in programming. So yeah, this is just a simple example. Hope you understood for loops, and until next time, I'll see you in the next video.